Hello, friends. I'm not Jim Nance. This is Kurt Berglund with a response to some viewer questions that I received about replay baseball. And today, as it happens, in the mail, I have received a 1979 complete set of cards from Classic Replay. Now, Classic Replay is the first version of what we now know, or what we now call Replay Baseball. And I am late to the party on Replay Baseball. However, and my memory's kind of foggy on this, but less than a year ago, I was listening to a podcast where, and I don't listen to podcasts. I don't know how to find podcasts. I'm just a caveman. No, I'm not. But anyway, somehow I stumbled on a podcast in which one of the creators of Replay Baseball was talking about a story where he and his partner in creating Replay Baseball, the first version of it, went to visit Richard Seitz, Dick Seitz of APBA fame, to tell him their thoughts about APBA and how Mr. Seitz might go about improving APBA as a baseball sim. Well, as the story goes, and if you have heard anything about Mr. Seitz' proclivities as an individual, you might imagine that this conversation didn't go especially well for the gentleman, probably with all good intent, trying to help Mr. Seitz improve APBA baseball. And so they decided, since they got absolutely nowhere with Mr. Seitz, that they would go to create their own baseball sim, and that's how Replay, the first version, was born. Well, I was amazed at the story. There's all sorts of detail. If you can find the podcast, I don't remember where the podcast is. I don't know what I was listening to. I don't know. But anyway, doesn't matter, really. The point is, Replay evolved out of APBA. At least APBA, I guess, could be considered kind of a cousin of Replay. Well, the new version of Replay, as I'm learning, is very much like the old one with some important changes. And I've been asked by some of my subscribers, by the way, if you haven't, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to my channel. They've sent me, how are these two games different? How does one look and the other look? Well, that's what I want to go about showing you in this video. And then very soon, maybe even later in this video, I will take you through a game of 1979 Classic Replay, at least as I'm beginning to learn the rules. What I have for the purposes of this exercise is two sets of the 1979 Chicago Cubs. And what we're going to do is to put the old Replay side by side with the new Replay so that you see what the difference would be if you purchase these games. Like so many baseball sims, the cards drive the sim, but the cards aren't the whole sim. But the cards definitely drive the sim. And so if you have an understanding and an appreciation of the differences between the cards, you'll be a more confident consumer in selecting what it is that you want to purchase. There's plenty there. While the old replay is no longer produced, it is certainly available on the secondary market, and in fact, that's where I got the copy that just arrived today. So I'm hoping that by doing this exercise, you will see the differences between the two, and you will be a more educated consumer of baseball sims in general, but replay in particular. So let's take a look at the cards and see how they look. The first thing I need to say is that I am not a replay baseball expert, nor do I play one on TV. And so I'm just starting my understandings of replay baseball as well. Having said that, what we have here, let me flip these around here. We have Dennis Lamp, I don't know. For the 1979 Cubs, he's probably the number 2 or 3 starting pitcher. I just wanted to pick kind of an average guy. So let's look here at what's going on. You'll notice this is old replay, this is new replay. So the first thing that you'll notice is that the cards are bigger. Now you can order, if you like, the large version of the cards for the current set. And if you want to do that, that will allow you to play replay baseball on the old replay baseball system. This is what you would get from the game company if you choose to order the large cards. This would be the new version of the same card. A column, their normal fatigue, so in other words, he's strong here. This would be what happens when the offensive manager puts on the hit and run, so these would be his results there. You can notice that there are some changes in the numbers, so the formulas have probably changed a little bit here. And then if you flip these over, you'll see that the B row, which for replay baseball is your ratings when you're fatigued as a pitcher, you see differences there as well. Same pitcher, same season, but some differences in the ratings. All right, so there's also on this Lamp card some updated elements of replay that were not present in the old version, including hold ratings, a more specific defensive rating, a much more specific fatigue system. This would be the starting pitcher innings maximum. You'll notice that that's changed here. And here is the number of batters that can be faced in the relief system. I believe that's what this is. It could be innings. Not sure. I got to read about that. Someone can probably inform us more accurately in the comments below. Here, this is batters faced. This is batters faced. We have a wild pitch rating. There's nothing like that here. We do have a defensive rating. We have one of those here with an elevated error number, and that did not exist in the 1979 version of the card. Here's the season, there's the season. There's no stats on this card other than his age, which way he throws, and that's it. If you want stats in the old version, you have to look on, and I know this is hard to read, but you have to look. This is a team card with stats that is provided in the old version, and a similar version of that is provided in the new version. It's just not blue. There are more players carded in the new version of replay than in the old version of replay, and that's something that is significant for many consumers of baseball sims, I know as well. All right, but if you choose to play with the updated version of replay, you do not use this card. You use this one. And so what you'll have is instead, this is a 2-dice system. So let's look at this. Let's suppose that Dennis Lamp is facing Bill Buckner, which you wouldn't do because they were both Cubs in 1979, but let's just suppose that they would. All right, to get your outcome in classic replay, you'd roll 2 dice, a black and a white. The 2 tells you the column, which is a 3, gives you a 3 for Lamp. And that tells you which column to look in for Buckner, and read the white die, and that's a 5, so we'd have a total of 8 in column 2. Then we would take our book and look at number 8 in column 2 and see what the result would be. That's classic replay. Do it one more time. 5, 4. All right, so 5 is a 1 on Lamp. We're going to stay in the 5 column because the black die tells us to do that. We go down to a 4, and there's 2 on Buckner's card. So we take the 1 plus the 2 makes 3. And then we look at 3 in column 5 in the result book. And that is classic replay. But if you want to play current replay, that's not how you play. A couple of things happen. We're going to bring Bill Buckner in to face Dennis Lamp using the current replay system. And we now add a die. So we're going to go red, white, and blue. We're going to roll our dice. And the results are like this. So we have a 5, 6, which is on the batter's card. 5, 6. 5 tells us the column. 6 tells us how far to go down to the... Let me try this without completely confusing you. All right, 5, 6. 5 tells us the column. 6 tells us how far to go down the batter's card. There's 45. 5 tells us the column on the pitcher's card, too. 3 on the blue tells us how far down to go in that column. So we take 45 from Buckner's card plus 1 from Lamp's card, and we get a 46 on column 5, and we look for that result there. You will notice that while there are 6 columns in the old version of the hitter's card for Bill Buckner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 in the new version as well. Hence, 6 by 6. 6 by 6. That hasn't changed. It's the same mechanic, if you will. However, in the pitcher's column, he goes from 6 columns, on the pitcher's card, he goes from 6 columns and 1 row in the new system to 6 columns and 6 rows. So it's 6 by 1 in the old system. It's 6 by 6 in the new system. And what this does is it allows for a lot more nuance in the pitcher's performance than under the old system. Now, are there differences in the charts? This is the new replay chart, and I'm going to show you a version, one of the versions of the old replay chart. This is the black book. I've ordered the white book, but it hasn't gotten here yet, and I've heard Ringo is really good on that one. White book, white album. Never mind. So there are differences in how the charts play and how the charts look. I haven't broken all that down. However, you are getting a more nuanced game in the new version. Does it matter? I don't know. And that's what I'm hoping to be able to find out together with you over the next several weeks. I'll be playing regular replay and classic replay, and you'll get a chance to see the differences between these different sims in practice. But it all starts with the cards. It all comes back to how the cards look, the information that's on the cards, what you have to find in terms of stats off of the team card, and so on. But one thing that is a difference is that if you want something close to every player or closer to every player, the newer version of the game is what you're looking for. Having said that, the old version of replay baseball was classic replay is way ahead of its time in terms of the number of players that it did card. In these days, remember, Stratomatic was lucky to give you 24 players per team, and that's if you ordered the extra players. APA, same way. At some point, they went from 24 to 26 at some point. Doesn't really matter. It's not as many as replay was giving you at this time. So while in classic replay you don't get as many cards as you get in the current version of the game, you do get more than you got back in those days from the other big baseball sims. I think that's an important distinction to make so that you're aware of that before you purchase. All right. Now, I'm sure other people know a lot more about this and can fill in information in the comments to add to what I've said or maybe even correct what I've said. My next job is to get a game of classic replay on my channel so you can see how it works in practice if you have not already. But I wanted to get this out to you in case you're wondering which version of replay is for me. I hope this has been helpful for you to enhance your understanding and be a better educated consumer for what you're looking for. Thank you so much for being with me, and stay tuned to my channel for lots more baseball sims and replay baseball. Have a great day. So long, everybody.